Alrighty, my friends, welcome to today's video where I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 tools for learning music and kind of tailored around bluegrass. Number 1 is the Hourglass. Now, I use an Hourglass as a substitute for like a phone timer because I want to be as far away from technology when I'm focusing as possible, especially distractions. The phone, receiving messages, wanting to look things up is an easy distraction from actually sitting down and playing. So I use the Hourglass as a symbol of focused time. And for some reason for me, I like physical symbols in front of me. So when I see this going, I know what I'm doing. And that's playing music. And in a focused way, in a ninja type practice way. I'm not just playing around. I'm like really trying to learn something when I spend time with this. This is a 15-minute Hourglass. When I started thinking about getting an Hourglass, I looked ones up and I found the one that I thought looked the coolest. This one has brass. It just looks fancy. And I like that. And I want to have things that I like associated with my music practice. So Hourglass keeps me focused. I do a 15-minute session per day. And usually I play at least an hour or even a couple hours per day. But at least 15 minutes is what I go for. And when the 15-minute timer's done and I'm still playing, I flip it over. I find I need to use this less and less because I'm less focused about the time and more focused about what I'm actually playing, and I can kind of get lost in what I'm playing and I don't even think about the time. That's a good thing. Those are the things you want to do in life, the things that you get lost in. These are when you get into flow state, when you get lost and you forget about time. Your brain starts to go into a different brainwave, which is the gamma brainwave, which a lot of people call flow state. And that's the state you want to be in as much as you can in life. So I use the Hourglass. Number 2, I use a metronome. And I like to have a physical metronome, but I also a lot use the metronome on my phone. I've kind of got better at being able to have my phone around for certain things without, I deleted social media, so I don't have that distraction. Especially without that, I feel a lot less distracted. So I can use the metronome on my phone, and I don't feel like I need to look up other things. But I like to have a physical metronome also, just because they're cool. I like this one. I'm probably going to get another one because I like the big triangle ones too. But I love having a metronome, and I practice with a metronome a lot. And I'll do a whole lesson on metronomes because there's so many ways that I use this thing to improve as a musician. But number 2, metronome, use that all the time. Number 3, I'm going to pull up my screen and show you a tool that I use. This is specifically for bluegrass and fiddle tune, old time music, is a program called Strum Machine. It's a fairly inexpensive app. I think it's $5 US, about $7 Canadian per month. And I use it every single day. So it makes it well worth it. And I've improved a lot as a musician by using Strum Machine. It has in the system most of the bluegrass and fiddle tunes you're going to want to be learning. So you can see I have a list of tunes that I save, ones that I work on. But for example, you can pull up any tune. Angel Eye and the Baker pulls up the tune, gives you the accompaniment to practice playing the melody over. You can change the speed to whatever speed you want, so you can learn a tune slow and speed it up as you go, as you learn it. There's a setting called auto speed up, to where every time it goes through the tune, it's going to speed up, and you can program it to speed up however much you want. So let's say every time it goes through, you want to go up 5 beats per minute. If you go through that 10 times, you're going to be going faster and faster and faster and faster. That's a great way to develop speed. You can go up by 1 beat per minute every time and just really gradually speed something up. So it's a really, really helpful tool. It has a lot of great functions. There's a function called auto finish, to where you can let it play through. and finish after one time or 4 times or whatever. That's a nice feature, especially when I'm doing videos. The thing can stop. I don't have to stop it on my own. Very fantastic. You see the numbers on the screen. These are actually chords, and you can go to chart display and set Strum Machine to show as chords like this, right? You see the chords on the screen there. I set it to show as numbers. If you're in the key of D, the 1 is D, right? Key of D, number 1, D. Number 4, D, E, F, G. Well, G is the 4. If you're going to go to the 5, it's D, E, F, G, A, right? So you want to start to learn those numbers, so if you're doing a 1, 4, 5 in D, it's D, G, A. If you're doing a 1, 4, 5 in C, it's C, F, G. If you're doing a 1, 4, 5 in G, G, A, B, C is 4, D is 5. So you want to get in touch with those numbers. So I leave it as numbers, and it helps you really learn what the 5 of E is, or what's the 4 of A, and those things start to become unconscious in your mind. You just know what they are. Strum Machine is awesome. Love it. You can save tunes. You can create your own song on it, or you can take a song on there and edit it if there's something you want to do slightly differently. If you want to change a chord, you can press edit on the song, and you can change the chord to, you can change the chords to anything. Let's say you want to make the 4 chord a minor. You can do anything you want, pretty much, with Strum Machine. So that's a great tool. Love Strum Machine. Number 5 is awesome. I want to show you guys this. So this is the Amazing Slowdowner. This tool is incredibly powerful. I've used it for years. It's so helpful. So I'll show you a little bit about what it does. You can upload a song. Let's say you're learning a tune, and you can play that song, and then you can loop any section of that song you want. So let's say you want to loop a bar of that song, or just a phrase in that song, or a whole break in that song. You can press start loop whenever you want the loop to start, press end loop whenever you want it to end, and it's going to loop that section of the song. Now, once you've got that section of the song looping, you can go to the speed function, and I don't know if you can see here, we're at 100% speed. You can see it down here, if you can see my cursor where the speed is. If you go to the speed dial, you can say, let's go to 50% speed. So let's take that loop that we found and put it to 50% speed. So we can really hear, if it's a fast piece of music or something, we can really hear what is actually being played. You can listen to the notes going really slowly. And then you can, it's just like Strum Machine, you can set it. If you go to settings, you can set it to, and you go to controls, down here on the bottom left, it can say change speed at new loop. So you say after one loop, let's go up 1%. Press OK, you press play on your song, and it's going to, every time it loops around, it's going to go up by 1%. So you can practice playing that thing, and you can do that all the way until it lands at 100% or more. So that's a really powerful way of learning something, is to slow it way down and then have it on its own. You don't have to do anything. It's on its own just going to increase 1% every time. I can't tell you how much, first of all, how useful that is, and how much people in maybe the 70s who were learning songs by putting a record back and only being able to play it at full speed, or maybe slowing the record down as much as you could on a record machine, how much they would have loved that. Obviously they have probably better ears because they had to listen to things at full speed. Nonetheless, you can listen to something that's an incredibly fast piece of music, slow it way down, figure out what they're doing, and then slowly learn how to play up to speed. That's incredibly useful and is going to save you a lot of time when it comes to learning something. So you can see I've got some tunes loaded on here. I'm not going to play anything so I don't get copyrighted on YouTube here. But you can see, I've got some Billy Strings on here. I've got some fiddle tunes, Bluegrass album band, Tony Rice stuff, Ricky Skaggs, all the good stuff. Learning breaks from my favorite guitar players, favorite mandolin players, and the like. So that's great. There's other things you can do on the Amazing Slowdowner as well. You can set it to where when you press the space bar, it goes right back to the beginning. Or you can set it to where when you press the space bar, it stops it and keeps you where you are in the song. But I set it so when you press the space bar twice, it goes back to the beginning of the loop. That's really helpful for me. You can also EQ. You can do EQ, like maybe you wanted to take the bass away so you can hear the guitar better. There's so much you can do with the amazing slow downer. One other thing you can do is actually change the pitch of a song. So let's say you're learning a song in G, but you want to learn it in A, but you don't have a recording of the song in A. Well, you can just take the pitch and move it up. One. I don't know why it's not letting me do that, but you can take the pitch of something and move it up or down. Yeah, one semitone. You can see here in the bottom where it says semitones, I can move it up one semitone, two semitones, and so on, or down. So you can change the pitch of things too. Also can be really useful. I've used that before as well. Number 5, this one is probably the most useful when it comes to improving your actual playing. This one I've recently just started using, and it's the best analog tool I've ever found. It looks like this. If you can hear the change in this jar. I've got 5 dimes in this jar, and this is what I call easy mode. I've got 5 dimes in this jar, and I've got no dimes in this jar. I would take a bar of a break that I'm learning, or a piece that I'm learning that is difficult, that I can't get up to speed yet, and I'm going to take that bar, and I'm going to set my metronome to a speed that I can play it at comfortably, put on my metronome, and I'm going to play that lick or that bar, whatever it is, that part of the music. And if I get it right 5 times, let's say I played it with my metronome, I got it right, I'm going to count out loud 1. Play it right again, 2. Play it right again, 3. Play it right again, 4. Play it right again, 5. Okay, passed the first level. That means I take 1 dime out of this jar, and I put it into this jar. Okay, level 1. Now I'm going to move to the next level. Keep everything at the same speed. I play the piece, got my metronome on, play it once, right, good. Play it second time, messed it up. Okay, I've got to start right back at the beginning and take that 1 dime and put it back in the jar of 5 dimes. Now I'm going to start again. Play it right once. Good, count 1. Play it right twice. Okay, say 2 out loud. Play it right 3 times. Say 3, 4, 5. Got it right 5 times. Going to move my dime into the next jar. Now I'm going to keep going, and if I can get it right 5 times in a row again, I'll put another dime in, 5 times in a row again, put another dime in, 5 times in a row again, put another dime in. Let's say I messed that one up. I have to start right back at the beginning. You get the idea. The goal of the game is to get all of the dimes into the next jar. Once you have done that, you have passed. You have won the game. This is how you gamify your practice. It's like playing a video game. You know, you want to pass the level, which is to get all the dimes in this jar into this jar. Once you have done that, then let's say that's your practice session for the day. Let's say you want to keep going. Then you're going to increase your metronome 10 beats per minute or 5 beats per minute, whatever it is, and you're going to play again. And if you do this, you will get incredibly better at whatever it is you're practicing, because you'll be forced to play it so many times. And that's the key. How do you get better at something? By doing it. How do you force yourself, or maybe force isn't the right word, how do you encourage yourself to do something as many times as you need to in order to get as good as you want to get at it? Well, one way is to gamify it. And this is a great way to do it, because, you know, when let's say I'm on the 4th dime and I mess it up, I don't go, oh, I messed it up. I go, cool, now this is going to make me play it 150 more times, which I actually want to do, because I want to be able to play this so well that I could never make a mistake, that it would be harder for me to make a mistake than it would be for me to get it right. And that's the level that I want to get to when I'm playing a piece of music. I want to play it so well that it would be harder for me to mess it up than to get it right. That's the level you want to get to. This really helps you do that. So I call this easy mode because there's only 5 dimes, and you're only having to get it right 5 times before you move the dime over. You can do it with, excuse me, I got a fluff on my nose. You can do it with 10 dimes, and say you have to get the piece of music that you're playing right 10 times before you move it over. So you can gamify it in whatever way works for you to actually do it. But that's what I call the change game, and it works better than anything to get you to actually play and to improve on your instrument. So that's fantastic. Okay, those are my top five tools for learning music, and I'm going to give you a bonus 2 that I think are also extremely valuable. The first bonus one is paper. Writing things down physically. It's such a great way to connect with your brain and actually, on a deeper level, internalize what it is that you're playing. So, I used to say, don't use tabs, just learn by ear, and I mostly do just learn by ear. I don't really care about the tabs, but the tabs are also another way to internalize something better. So I use tablature. I'll write things out myself, and what I do, I don't know if you can see it, is on the top of my tabs, if a song's in 4/4, I've got 16th notes written on top here. So 1 E, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And I can listen to a song and hear, is that note that I'm trying to write, is it on beat 1, right? Which would be right here. Is it on the E of 1 E? Is it on the A of 1 E and A? Is it on the E of 3? So I can grid out where the note actually is on the beat. And that's really helpful because you need to understand rhythm when you're playing music. You need to understand and be able to hear, that's on 1 E and ah, that's on 2 E and ah. Is it on beat 3? 1, 2, 3. You want to be able to understand these things rhythmically. So writing things out, actually being able to write things out yourself is a really great tool. And just the writing of it helps you memorize things as well. So that's my number 1 bonus one. And then the final bonus one is a stereo. Now this isn't really a stereo, it's a Bluetooth speaker, but it kind of works for my purposes. For now, at least, I'm going to get a nicer stereo going here, but just to listen to music out loud and play along with it. I'll give you an example. I heard from somebody to listen to the Bluegrass album band. Somebody was teaching about playing rhythm. Listen to the Bluegrass album band, volume 1 to start, and play the whole record out loud and play along with it, and see if you can pick up on some of the rhythmic things that Tony Rice is doing on the guitar, and just play along with the record out loud on speakers. Have the speakers loud and play loud, because that's the way they were playing. They were playing with full power. So listen to stuff out loud and play along with it. That's a fantastic. It's necessary if you want to learn this kind of music. To get some of the nuances, you can sit there and pretend you're with the band, and that's one way of getting some of the the mojo of that, for example, that band or whatever music it is you're learning. You listen to it out loud like you were in the room with those guys, recording with them, and you can get so much out of that in terms of just getting some of those stylistic things in your playing. So those are my top tools for learning music, especially bluegrass. And I hope you use some of them yourself, because these things will save you so much time and improve your musicianship just tenfold if you use these tools. So use some of this stuff, and thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel, and I'm excited to share music knowledge with people that want to really grow in their musicality, vocabulary, becoming a better player, better listener, a better student. So if you're into those things, please help support this channel by liking, sharing, subscribing, all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next video.